Hey guys, Sure Shot Midget here. So I'm going to be doing a serious video. So unfortunately, I'm being accused of some sly things at Warden Airsoft. I'm making this video because none of it's true. None of it's true. I don't have anything to hide. None of it's true. Those people that have been subscribed to me for even a month and you watch the videos that I post, you will know on every single one of the videos that I do a high-speed gun, I will tell you, run low FPS if you run high rate of fire. Just do it. It just saves a lot of people hassle. People can't say, oh, you're shooting too fast, because then you can be like, no, I run 350 FPS though. It's safe. And I proved it by shooting the cardboard boxes. Shooting 350 FPS with a .2 is much more safe than shooting, 400 with .2s even, or, running 400 and popping .3 plus BBs in your HBA gun. Even if you're using an AEG, shooting 400 FPS with 3s doesn't feel good. Shooting 350 with .2s at whatever rate of fire, it's not enough power to do any damage to the skin unless you're point blank. I've shot myself point blank with this. I actually took a video of it and I proved, that literally point blank makes you bleed. I literally shot myself from a foot away, and then I shot myself from 10 feet away, and there was literally no mark on my skin. It's literally proven in that video that I made. I'm not going to upload that because I made it with my phone, but this is hopefully going to be enough evidence to show people that basically all the accusations are they're garbage, pretty much. They're all lies. So what am I being accused of exactly? Well, I'm being accused of basically shooting a kid up the arm 7 times, apparently, allegedly. I caused this kid to bleed by shooting him up the arm. Okay, now preface this. I have been blamed for things at Warden Airsoft when I'm not even on the field. No joke. There's a few people that have blamed me for shooting some girl when she was trying to defog when she was on the field. First of all, defog in staging. You're supposed to defog in staging. If you get shot in the face while you're defogging, it's your fault. It's nobody else's fault. It's not because that person is a jerk or anything. Now, they were saying, oh, well, they announced that they were defogging. How exactly do you announce that you're defogging? Scream it? Not everybody's going to hear you. You have to understand that. If you really want to defog on the field, honestly, I don't think you should, and I've never had issues with it, because, the dye mask that I use never fogs, unlike your, shielded goggles that just fog like crazy, unless you do modifications. There's tons of other brands out there that don't fog, but bet she was probably using crappy goggles that fog or didn't clear out the foam on the top and bottom, which is a common mod, pretty much, or to use defog wipes or whatever. There's tons of different tricks out there. But I got accused for that, and I wasn't even there that weekend. Wasn't even there. There's no proof that links me to it. Wasn't even there that weekend, and I still get blamed for it. So there's no proof to link me to shooting that kid up the arm 7 times. I've been told there's picture proof, which is basically, well, I haven't even seen picture proof. Nobody's shown me the proof. They say that there's, a picture of a kid shot up the arm. How does that link that to me? How does it link it to me? Again, I've proven with this gun. I shot myself point blank, and it did cause me to bleed, but that's literally under a foot. At 10 feet, I shot myself, does not bleed. .2s, 350, does not bleed. It's not possible with .2 BBs. It's not, okay? There's a 10-foot MED at that field for any gun, so there's no way I have ever shot anyone under that, let alone on full auto. 2, I shoot people on full auto at 50-plus feet. Occasionally, if somebody's cheating, I'll shoot them at, 30. Okay, so even if I shot some kid at 30 feet on full auto, it's not going to cause bleeding. But I wouldn't have, because I'm smart. I've played Airsoft for 9 years, okay? I don't go around and shoot kids up the arm because they're not even calling their hits, because I understand. I was in this spot at one point when I had first started Airsoft. You get hit, you're new to the game, you don't know how to put your hand up, you don't have a dead rag, you're not used to the whole game, okay? So, I understand. I don't overshoot kids. Never have, never will, because I know that they're new, and a lot of field owners basically pander to the new players. And so I have literally taken that into exception everywhere I play. Everywhere I play. Plus, I just want to side note, you're playing Airsoft. Expect to be shot. I don't really care if you're new or you've been playing this game for 15 years. It's an Airsoft, a game where you get to shoot at each other. Expect to be shot. Of course, if there's people mag dumping, shame on them. They need to be banned or reprimanded. there's no reason for mag dumping and overshooting. Getting shot 5 times is not overshooting. And if you're cheating and you get shot 20 times, it's still not overshooting because you're not calling your hit. And that's exactly what happened at Warden Airsoft. People wouldn't call their hits and they'd keep getting shot, and then they cry about it, and then they don't get reprimanded. I get my name written down, and then, basically get passed around and told, oh, he's a cheater, he overshoots, blah, blah, blah. His gun shoots too fast, blah, 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 blah. So that's that. I've also been accused of shooting over the 25 RPS limit of Warden. When the last time I was there was no limit. The last time that I was there, they created the 25 rounds a second limit. So how can I have broken that limit when I'm not even there? It's literally the exact same thing. That happens. The exact same accusations when I'm not even at the field. I haven't been there for over 2 months. About 2.5 months I haven't even been there, and I get accused of things. It's insane. It's like, yeah, I'm 70 miles from the field. I can shoot BB 70 miles and hit people while they're defogging. Yeah, right. Try me. Or if I'm at a different field. So it's insane. It's baffling to me that this can even happen. It's amazing to believe that a airsoft community can be such cancer. It's such cancerous. So the people that are accusing me of this is basically they have an Airsoft team Facebook page and YouTube and even Instagram. So I have their information. I'm going to put in screenshots of all the stuff that they have said. They literally released my personal information online, which is illegal. So take that for what it's worth. They're a bunch of scums, pretty much. And they're still allowed to go to that field. Now, I want to say that the video that I posted, The Cancer of Airsoft, was actually filmed at Warden. It was of a friend playing, and one of the home team players literally charged my friend, cussing at him. Now, like, if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, what is going on? Like, the dude literally looked like he was going to come tackle my friend. He got reprimanded for it, but the owner reprimanded him, and then came up with an excuse saying that my friend was overshooting him. When in the video you can hear there's no hits, he doesn't have a dead right, and there's 2 or 3 people over in that same spot. So my friend was not shooting at one person. He was shooting at 3 different people, and he was shooting 25 rounds a second because it was after their limit. And he was shooting, 355 with a .2, 360 with a .2, and using .3s, which is like 300 with a .3. I don't know the joules for that, but it's really not that high. And he was just basically being a baby because they were losing that game. And actually, a lot of this stems from Assault Airsoft. It really does. If you guys don't know, I worked for Assault Airsoft. I was the tech there for a while. For the first 3 or 4 months, it was great. It was great being out of field, hanging out with some friends. But then it became, ever since the spamming rule came in place, basically, spamming is a kind of a very vague term. Normally, fields will do a barring your finger rule, so you can't bar your finger and shoot like that. At Assault, it was spamming. So what is spamming? And I talked to the refs, and I never really got it out of the owner, I don't think, what spamming is. So we ended up talking because I had worked there. So I basically was like, what is spamming, blah, 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 because me and a few other people did it. Literally only a few people did it. And so basically they were like, oh, just barring your fingers. So I was like, okay. So I learned to shoot like this, and I shoot twice as quick. I learned to shoot quicker because they limited how I could shoot pretty much. So thanks for that, Assault Airsoft, because now I can shoot twice as quick shooting like this. Also, if you don't know, I ended up getting banned from Assault Airsoft for about 8.5 hours. That's where a lot of this stems from. Basically what was happening is the owner was replacing me with another tech. He was talking behind my back and telling people that I was using him for free plays, making me look like an awful person because the field was struggling, and so it made me look like I was basically the worst person in the world, which I was obviously not happy about. So at the field one day, basically I ended up full autoing the same guy twice. It was just a cheater. He was just cheating all day, and so I full autoed him 2 different times. I was shooting 350 roughly with a .2, so I really wasn't shooting. I was shooting under the limit because the limit's 380. Of course, I regret it. I should not have done that. I got banned for 8.5 hours. He unbanned me, and then he actually came out with rules. He actually like posted a rule board that was good. Displaying FPS. Saying if you shoot full auto, you're banned. Which I think is quite like, if you shoot full auto and you're banned right on the spot, I think that's crazy. I think there's more ways to go about that, like sit out a few games, or you have to leave for the day or something. But right off the bat, if you full auto and you hit somebody and like you're banned right away, I think that's quite crazy. So that's that. I ended up basically leaving the field because of just all the cancer. It was just the field is filthy. Basically free slave labor is what it is. People do things for free and they don't get paid for it, or they get paid like pennies on the dollar. And so it's not even worth being there. It's not even worth helping because the owner's ungrateful. Because I loved helping there, but I hardly got thanked. I got thanked like a handful of times. So I just left. A lot of us left. And we ended up making Facebook reviews, and he took those down, and then we took them to Google reviews. Yeah, and so he got really upset about that, and that's when he started to go to talk to the owner of Warden, bet on that, and tell him how unsafe of a player I am. How am I unsafe? Like, literally, the owner of Warden told me, yeah, he's unsafe. How am I unsafe? I play with people that if I was an unsafe player, they would reprimand me. They would rip me a new one if I was Octane. I play with Octane. I'm not on their team, but they would have ripped me a new one if I was actually mag dumping people and overshooting people, if I was turning my regulator up and shooting hot, shooting under the MED, or any of those sort of things. I would be reprimanded, and I bet that they would not want to play with me anymore, which would be fair, because, legitimately that would give them a bad name. But I have not done any of those things. Never once have I shot hot or anything, or even shot over an RPS limit. As soon as they made it, I stopped going to the field because you lost my business. Because literally only two of my guns I can play there with. That's it. None of my other guns I can play with. So, and that really limits me to 2 guns for a field, which is not good because the one gun is straight up like CQB. And it's shooting 350 FPS at like 24, 25 rounds a second. People don't call their hits with that gun. I went there and played with that gun. Nobody calls their hits at that field. And that's another thing. I've taken tons and tons of people there, and I don't even have to say it. I don't even have to say, yeah, people don't call their hits at that field. I ask them, I say, how did you like the field, blah, blah, blah. And one of the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, there were a lot of cheaters there. A lot of cheaters. That's what they say, and I don't even bring it up. They say it first. It is the worst field for cheating, and the regular players there deny it. The regular players say, no, I've been to this field, this field, this field, and Warden is no worse cheating. How come I have heard from like 15 people that cheating is the worst at Warden? That is not like, it's like 15 or 20 people I've heard that from. It's not because it's not the truth. It's the truth. If you're saying that it's not, you're probably part of the problem, and you're probably part of the cheating. And at Warden, people just hate HPA. There was one guy, he asked me, he said, oh, you have HPA? I said, yeah, I really like the reliability of it, the tunability, all that sort of stuff. And then he says, yeah, I thought about getting HPA, but then I didn't want to be an a-hole, is what he said. Okay, so because you have really good reliability, and you have the ability to shoot faster than other people, and shoot more accurately, because HPA inherently shoots further normally, just the adjustability and programmability of an HPA, you're an a-hole. How does that make any sense? And that stems from the owner, because what happened at the field apparently 7 or 8 years ago, some kid got shot, that was back when fusion engines first came out, and people were jewel creeping apparently, and apparently a kid got a concussion by getting shot in the head. Now how does that happen? How does some kid get a concussion by getting shot with a BB? I don't get it. Doesn't seem possible to me. That's what I heard. That's what the owner said. He seems to be upset because of something that happened 7 or 8 years ago. I find that quite insane. And also assault's very, biased against HPA. The owner was saying, no, I'm not, blah, blah, blah. He talks trash about it all the time. In fact, he literally, the last time I was at the field, he banned it. He literally said in the office to 6 or 7 people were in the office, yeah, starting next week, HPA is not allowed. He literally said that, and I was sitting in the staging, and they came out and said, there were like 6 people that came out and said the exact same thing. And then the next day, he's like, HPA is not banned at us. Don't believe the rumors. You said it yourself in the office to roughly seven people. So he got pretty much, he ended up realizing that if he actually banned HPA, his business would fall under. And so he regretted it and basically unbanned it. And assault is extremely unsafe. So you're going to tell me I'm an unsafe player, and you're going to message another field owner and tell them that I'm an unsafe player, but you shoot people in the office of your field? You have literally pipes hanging from the ceiling in your field. One of the guys that I became friends with, this happened before I even met him. It was about 3 weeks before I even met him. He went to assault indoor, and he hit his head on a pipe that hangs from the ceiling. He went to the office, asked the owner for towels or something, didn't have any. He was a lump on a log. And so he ends up running to the bathroom to get paper towels. No paper towels in the bathroom. Good job there. And so he ended up going back to staging, and so he actually had to go into staging and find somebody that was an EMS, part of EMS or whatever, that was playing there that day, and they had a med kit on them. So he ended up, patching himself up. It was pretty bad. He showed me a picture of it. And again, this was before I met this guy. So no cahoots, no collusion. The Russians didn't help me with this. I didn't know the dude. It just happened to him. He ended up talking to me about later. So you're basically going to tell me I'm an unsafe player, and your field has all of those unsafe features. Like, it's insane. It's hypocrisy at its finest. Oh, and one last thing. I've heard tons of people tell me, oh, well, the refs can't make people call their hits. Okay, that's true. But when I go to Warden, I see one of the refs in particular. He does it every single time I'm there. He's off where nobody is, smoking a cigarette. He's just off 100 feet away from where all the other people are. He's smoking a cigarette, just walking around, smoking a cigarette. How? That is awful reffing right there. Awful. And he is there probably half the times that I go there. So they have a rotation at that field. So they have different refs, blah, blah, blah. One of the refs is an amazing guy, probably the nicest person that I've ever met. And then there's the one guy that just smokes cigarettes every time I'm there. Just off smoking cigarettes, not making, actually watching people. In fact, very few of the refs there actually watch people. The one that does a really good job at it, and the nice guy that I said, that I just mentioned, he's really good at it. He walks around, when people get hit, he'll say, hit, 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 he's out, let him out, those type of things. He's very interactive. He's walking around the field constantly. He is a good ref. And then there's another good ref. He's a younger kid. He's pretty good too. But there's 2 or 3 older refs that just don't do anything. Especially the one dude, I came around the corner and shot this dude point blank, and that ref's just standing there. And I'm telling him, I just hit you. Are you not going to take it? And it's on one of my footage, one of my gameplay videos. And basically, the ref just stands there, and I think he even said you didn't hit him. I am like 13 feet from this guy, and I shoot at him twice. How do I not hit him? Like, I've been playing this game for too long to tell me that you're 13 or roughly feet away from me, and I can't hit you? I can't hit you that close to me? Yeah, right, dude. And plus, that same guy, when he stuck his head around the corner, I hit him in the hat. Of course, it's the hat, like, can't quite feel it, but you can hear it, so he should have called it, but whatever, in the heat of the moment. But then when I came around the corner, I shot at him twice, and I hit him both times. Of course, I'm only running 350 FPS, so I'm not shooting hard, but apparently I can still draw blood from 70 miles away. I can shoot from my house and have people draw blood. And thank you guys for watching. I don't recommend, I'm not encouraging anybody to go and hate on the people on this video, the people, the Airsoft team, but they're a bunch of scums. They're a bunch of scums. I'm going to say, don't go and cuss them out. They ended up actually making their like ratio go away, their like to dislike ratio. They took it off on all their channel, and then they blame me for sending people to dislike their videos, when that's just not true. He put me in the name of his reply video, and so they saw it because of my name, and they went and watched it. And sure, I sent the link to a few of my friends, and I'm sure they went and disliked it and did whatever. I can't control those people. It's not my fault that you're getting a lot of hate for your garbage content and your garbage ideology. So in other words, Airsoft's dying because of cancerous players and cancerous fields. So if you have any questions, let me know and enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, so I'm back, got mags loaded up, got a cardboard box out there at about 50 feet. So, let's go ahead and shoot it. Got some .2s. I'm going to go and chrono it real quick here, so, just to confirm everything. Everything's legit. 333, 300, 336. Let me reset my regulator again. It is kind of cold, like I said. It's been sitting out here for probably about 45 minutes, my tank and regulator and gun and everything. .340, 342. Let me go and turn it up just a little bit because it seemed to have gone down so that we can stay at that pretty consistent 345, 350. Which is what I was at. 348, 349, 346, so that's perfect. That's a higher FPS there, 346, which is still low. I mean, it's below 350. Okay, so I'm going to go and shoot that cardboard box again. It's about 50 feet. I'm going to shoot it and I'm going to circle it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go look at that. I had the pen with me. Got the pen, so we can mark it. A few of those shots were a little bit over on the side. Okay, so most of those BBs are just stuck into the cardboard. It is pretty thick cardboard. Let me go ahead and lower the tripod so you can see it. Lower my tripod even more. Okay, so right there, most of the BBs are stuck. There are a few that went over here. And there's one that went over here. So I'm just going to circle this area right here. .2. See if I can hold this up with my legs here. Okay, so 350 FPS with a .2, that's the damage. Again, pretty thick cardboard, it's about 2 layers thick, so not surprised that they didn't go in. Actually, none of them went through. Not a single one went through. So they all hit, bounced on the ground, or stuck into the cardboard. So not a single one went through, and it's not even like bulged on the back. So that's that. Alright, so this should be 400 FPS with .2s. 400. 400, 391, so 1.42 joules was 391, 400 was 1.49, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and lower the rate of fire to 25. Okay, let's go ahead and check that out. And then the next thing I'm going to test is 400 FPS with 3 3s, which is still legal limit. Okay? Alright, so what we see here, go ahead and set this tripod. Alright, what we see here is a lot of BBs stuck in place again. Okay, we got more damage. Okay, we got like 4 BBs inside of here. Now, there's no way those could have gotten in here besides coming all the way through. And in fact, there's actually a mark on the back there. So that one had a lot of power to it. And then there's a few sticking through there. You can see that. See that? Another one here. So definitely more power to it. I'd say, what was that? There were 4 that came through and 2 that almost came through, so I'd say I'd include those 2 coming through, so that's 4 all the way through, and most of these are very bulged on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Apologize if you can't see that, it's pretty dark out here. So I'm going to leave this where it's at, and I'm going to shoot 3 threes at it. I'm going to go ahead and raise the dwell, because you want the dwell higher with heavier BBs. There is no cheating. I'm not cheating by rising the dwell to get higher feet per second, because with the .2s it's not needed because your BB is out of your barrel already. 349, 346, 343, 345, 1.82 joules. So that's 400 with a .2, and we're getting that with 3 threes. So I'm going to try to get this in view here. BBs are dark, so I have to aim down the gun. Man, those look like they went through to me, but I'm not sure, because they just kind of disappeared. The BBs are flying super slow. Ooh. Are they all through? Oh. I think they all went through. There's none stuck in it. Oh yeah. Almost all of them went through, if not all of them. You see all those gray BBs? There's at least 20 in there. At least. Yeah. So you can see the damage, pretty much all of those came through. So that is literally the same PSI on these 2. That's just BB weight. So it is a thing. Joule creep is a thing. With heavier BBs, it does get more power. As you can see here, it's proven. Same PSI, 400 with a .2, 340 with a .33, goes through, all of them go through, and I'd say half, no, I'm saying 1/3 goes through on this, and on this, not a single one went through. 350 with .2s, 345 to 350 with .2s, 45 rounds a second, 400 FPS at 25, and 25 with 3 threes. At 50 feet. All these were done at 50 feet. I didn't circle those. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, so I do want to mention this. I literally just noticed this. So the BBs went through the first layer, and they stuck into the back layer. So I didn't notice that before. I don't know how I didn't notice that. So half of the BBs dropped, and then half of them went in here. Now, of course, you see all these divots? So those BBs hit with power and damaged the back side of the cardboard, and they fell down in here. So pretty much every single one of the BBs went through this side, hit the other side with force. With force. Some of them dropped in here. Some of them are stuck. So, yeah, I can't get them out. Man, those boys stuck on the back. Oh, you can actually see divots on the back here. Man. And actually one went, look at that. One went through the back, or 2. 2 went through the back. That is crazy. Okay, so 400 FPS with .2, 340 with a .33, at the same PSI as this, which is 400 with a .2. So there it is. All of them go through, 1/3 of them go through, none go through. Not a single one. So, pretty hard evidence right there that shooting fast is not going to do damage to a person. That's 50 feet. I don't shoot people closer than that. So it's not possible to draw blood at 50 feet with .25s or .2s at 350 FPS. Any one of my friends can vouch for me personally. I have tons of people that can vouch to say that I use .2s at 350. With that gun, with my MP5, I run 2.5s at 330 or 340 with the 2. And then, of course, with my MP5, I'm running just about 1 joule with the 2.5. 1 joule with the 2.5, not a single BB. It would be more along the lines of this power. With .25s, it would be probably like no BBs would make it through with no damage on the other side. Because 330 with a .2 is like 305 with a 2.5, which is like 1 joule, maybe 1.1 with the 2.5, which is about the joules that this puts out. So not a single BB would go through it. I've never run higher than that. So that's the truth. So both of my HPA guns would do about the same damage, even though I run different weights in them, of course.
Are you a real villain?
Well, technically, nah.
Have you ever caught a good guy like a real superhero?
Nah.
Have you ever tried a disguise?
Nah.
All right. I can see that I will have to teach you how to be villains. Now listen closely. Here's a little lesson in trickery. This is going down in history. If you wanna be a villain #1, you have to chase a superhero on the run. Just follow my moves and sneak around. Be careful not to make a sound. No, don't touch that. When I say go, be ready to throw. Go! Throw it at him, not me! Oh, let's try something else.